Quiet, please.
Thank you. Be seated. Steve, you want to just call him? Aurora Bouchard, is that right?
Information sheet.
Yes, sir.
Miss, you're Aurora Bouchard? Okay.
Your Honor, Tim Gibbs on behalf of Aurora Bouchard. If I can have just one moment. Judge, she has an offer for a year of probation in this case. I believe she wants to accept it. I do have a written plea that I can have her sign.
All right. This is 23 CF 1793, Aurora Bouchard. Would you please raise your right hand, ma'am, to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for this court's the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Yes.
We're not going to do anything more with the case, though. We're not going to look at any defenses. Leaving all of that.
That's fine.
You understand? Sign right there for me, please. Yeah, today's day.
Oh, that looks like a 5.
So you are going to be a convicted felon. Apparently, you have a couple prior felons.
Does that mean I can't expunge it?
Your Honor, if I may approach for the score sheet.
All right.
No objection to that score sheet, Judge.
All right, Miss Bouchard, this is State of Florida versus Aurora Bouchard, 23 CF 1793. You want to enter a no contest plea, the charge of possession of a controlled substance, a third-degree felony.
Yes, sir.
Did you read and sign this plea and sentencing agreement form?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this plea?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today?
No, sir.
Are you happy with the work Mr. Gibbs has done for you on your case?
Yes, sir.
Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it, sentences you to 12 months probation, $100 cost of prosecution, $515 court costs, $150 PD fee. Enter and complete a rehabilitation program with Emerald Coast Life Center. Adjudicated guilty, waive cost of supervision.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Good luck to me with probation. It's your copy. Thank you.
Dion Chappelle. Or Chappelle.
And there, face the judge.
Are you Dion Chappelle?
Correct.
All right. You're here on arraignment. You're charged with vehicle theft, a third-degree felony.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, we filed an information. I have alternative options for Mr. Chappelle. One is to adjudicate guilty as charged, 12-1 DOC, or 3 years of probation with conditions such as restitution, 50 hours community service, substance abuse evaluation and treatment, and court costs. No contact with the victim.
I accept that plea.
the probation?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, you understand you have the right to an attorney, you have the right to remain silent. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you, and you'll be adjudicated, is it adjudication guilty?
Yes, Your Honor, it will
Of a
be.
felony if you want to plead no contest to the grand theft or vehicle theft. You understand that? You do?
Yes, sir.
All right. Would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? This is 23 CF 1747, State versus Dion, Lamont, Chappelle. You swear the testimony you give for this course of truth, so help you God?
Help me God.
All right, you want to enter a no contest plea to the, is it grand theft
Of a motor vehicle.
of vehicle theft? You wear the rights you're waiving by entering this plea, right to a jury trial, the right to remain silent, the right to have an attorney to represent you. One will be appointed if you can't afford one. Right to make the state prove its case beyond to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. You're waiving those rights. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today?
No, sir.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. Sentences you to 3 years probation. Adjudicates you guilty. No contact with the victim. Standard, what was it? Standard
It
court
was 50
clause?
hours community service,
50 hours community service, which I'll let you buy it out if you want to.
and reserve on restitution for 90 days.
I'll reserve on restitution for 90 days.
Can you please explain?
What that means is the 50 hours community service work, you can do that as part of your probation, or you can buy it out. I think it's $10 an hour, $10 an hour. And the restitution means if there's any money owed to the victim, say, for example, when you damaged the car, and they have to, you owe them some money, you'll have to come up and pay that. You can pay it over the 3 years probation.
Yes, sir.
Say it's a $500 damage to a car, you'd have to pay them $500, but you'd have 3 years to do it. That's what the restitution means, okay?
Yes, sir.
And the probation will explain your terms of probation. Waive cost of supervision. What else? Is that it?
I had asked for
Other-
substance abuse evaluation and treatment, or to complete Emerald Coast Life Center program.
Yeah, I'm not going to impose that.
Okay.
All right, waive cost of supervision, standard terms of probation. There's probation right there. Thank you, sir.
You know, may I approach with the score sheet? Thank you.
Gary Lee Kosen.
Your Honor, Tim Gibbs for Mr. Kosen. This is going to be 23 CF 1768. We have reached an agreement. I'm just going to grab the written plea from Ms. Leon.
What was the agreement?
You, Gary Lee Kosen.
Yes, sir.
Would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for us courts of truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
This is State of Florida versus Gary Lee Kosen, 23 CF 1768. You want to enter a no contest plea to possession of paraphernalia, a misdemeanor, first degree misdemeanor. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you read and sign this plea in sentencing form?
Did you remember signing that earlier today?
Did you
Yes.
read and sign this
Yes.
form that
Yes.
explains your rights?
Yes.
You understand the rights you're waiving by entering this plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did anyone force you or threaten you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today?
No, Your Honor.
Are you happy with the work Mr. Gibbs has done for you on your case?
Very.
Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it, withholds adjudication. Sends you to $50 cost of prosecution, $100 PD fee. We're due within 180 days.
We added in, Judge, to do the court costs. Sorry about my atrocious handwriting there.
Something,
I had him initial next to it because I had to write
oh,
it in.
that's an initial.
Yes, Judge.
And you've got to do something else that I don't know what it is. It looks like some kind of Egyptian hieroglyphics. Is that standard court costs? Is that
Yes,
what it
Judge. I
says?
believe it'd be 220.
Okay,
I'm sorry?
yeah.
Misdemeanor, yes.
Lesser included offense of misdemeanor. Okay,
Thank you,
that's
Judge.
it. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, Your Honor.
Look, you can start a
Can't
payment
shake them
plan.
all right, yeah, shake left.
If you want to go downstairs, you can start a payment plan.
At the clerk's office?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Jason Howell.
Judge Jay Williams for the defense. Mr. Howell's approaching. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf, request 15 days for pre-arraignment motions, and demand trial by jury.
All right, Mr. Howell, you charged with possession of a weapon or ammunition by a convicted felon, and that's a third-degree felony,
Second degree.
second-degree felony, and battery with bodily harm.
Judge, it's just a domestic violence battery. There's no
All right.
requirement for bodily harm on a battery.
Okay, that's what you're charged with. Your attorney's pled you not guilty, so it set you for October 30th.
Yes, Your Honor, if I can state for the record that the offer that was made to be taken at arraignment was 12-1 DOC because he's facing a 3 years minimum mandatory. Since he's not taking that, that offer is revoked, and right now the offer would be 3 years DOC with no mean man.
Understand that?
Yes, sir, I understand that.
Okay. Thank you. October 30th.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Hang on just a minute. I'm just going to- Judge, I believe I have one more that is out of custody, but it's one where we may need language line or an interpreter. Martinez Reyes? This is Michelle Martinez Reyes, 23, come stand over next to me here, sir.
Yes, sir.
23 CF 778. Do you speak English okay? Can you understand everything that's going around? Okay. Judge, I'm going to not had a chance to meet with him prior to arraignment, so I'm just going to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf, request 15 days for pre-arraignment motions, and demand trial by jury.
I don't see him on the docket. 7. Okay. CL Martinez, or Martinez Reyes, 23 CF 1778. You're charged with attempted burglary of an unoccupied conveyance, which is an automobile. And your attorney has entered a plea of not guilty for you, okay? And so come back to court October 30th. You understand English, don't you? All right, thank you. Thank you, sir.
I'm going to give you a card. I want you to call October 30th. Call and make an appointment to come see me before then so we can talk about the case and decide how we're going to handle it. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
James Jaggers.
He's incarcerated, Judge. Judge, if you'll give me just a moment.
Mr. Gibbs, did you want to say something?
Your Honor, I believe probation wanted to recall Mr. Chappelle. We have some concerns about his potential competency. We can address him after Mr. Jaggers.
All right, Mr. Jaggers, we went over, the state has now filed an information in the last case. I went over with you what that charge is. I've advised him of his score. We just got the score on that today as well. Get your signature here, sir. Do you object to my dating this for you?
Go ahead, sir.
And did I go over your rights with you?
Absolutely.
Judge, I met with him, what was it, yesterday or?
Yes, sir.
Yesterday
Yes,
I
sir.
met with you?
I'm getting the scores. Do you have
I've
it?
got one.
Oh, thank you.
And you put today's date on for
I did.
sentencing and Judge Gontarek, so you're.
Thank you.
I'm just giving one of my copies. There we go, Judge.
All right, Mr. Jaggers, would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for this court's the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
This is State of Florida versus James Levi Jaggers, case number 23 CF 1750, 23 CF 1751, 23 CF 1752, 23 CF 1784. You want to enter a no contest plea to three felony petty thefts, which are third-degree felonies, a fraudulent use of a credit card, a third-degree felony, and a criminal mischief, a first-degree misdemeanor. Correct, sir?
Yes,
Under
sir.
those case numbers? All right. Did you read and sign this plea and sentencing agreement form?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this plea?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today?
No, sir.
Are you happy with the work Mr. Williams has done for you on your case?
Absolutely.
Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. On all felony cases and counts, you're judged guilty, sentenced to 3 years probation. Take anti-theft course. Stay away from the locations of the thefts, and no contact with the victims. Do not knowingly go to victims' homes or place of businesses. Court is going to order restitution reserved for 90 days to determine amount. All cases, all the felonies in all counts are concurrent. And on the misdemeanor count, you're judged guilty, sentenced to time served. Okay?
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Waive cost supervision.
Judge, the next one I have is going to be Destiny Lige, I believe. Hey, Destiny, come stand over here next to me. Judge, this is Ms. Lige's second case. We arraigned her on her previous case, and I've obtained expert assistance in that case. I'll just enter a plea of not guilty on her behalf, request 15 days for pre-arraignment motions, and demand trial by jury.
Miss Destiny Lodge, this
Yes,
is
sir.
23 CF 1780. You're charged with burglary of an unoccupied conveyance and resisting an officer without violence. Your attorney's pledged you not guilty, so we'll set you for pretrial on October 30th.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. And Judge, I think that's all I have.
All right.
Judge, as a friend of the court, I think probation would like to recall Mr. Chappelle.
Okay.
There's been some concerns about his competency. Come on, Mr. Chappelle.
All right, Mr. Chappelle, thank you. Come on back up.
Ms. Below, officer, did you want us to express any of your concerns about his competency? And
I don't think he understands, Your Honor. Sorry to interrupt, but
Face the judge.
What's up?
when we asked him about the information and asked who David Lamont Chappelle was,
that's him.
that's him. He had a hard time answering that question, had a hard time giving me a phone number. He doesn't seem to understand the questions that I'm asking him, and they're pretty simple questions. So since he didn't have an attorney, I was just concerned
I'll
that he wouldn't
appoint
have
the
a comment.
public defender and allow him to, if you want to, vacate his plea.
Judge, I think that'd be the most appropriate thing to do. We'll have to get him evaluated.
All right, and Mr. Chappelle, what I'm going to do is appoint public defender to represent you.
The competency of understanding the plea.
Yes, sir.
I accept the plea from where we begun. I believe the question that the brother that he was asking was, do I take medication for some purposes?
And I
For
did
some
ask him those
reason,
questions to see
and my
if he
answer
was
was to him was that no, I do not take medication, so I don't understand the evaluation that's needed to complete what we have already done. But I believe his information as far as that was dispatched to him for the that I'm up under the influence of I will guess a prescribed medicine of our local markets. I'm not.
Okay.
He seems like he understands what's going on to me. Okay, I'm going to just leave
If
it.
that's up to the court,
I'm going to just leave it the way it is. Thank you, sir.
I did notice a discrepancy in the information. The clerk has his first name as Dion.
Correct.
The information has his first name as David. I don't know if there was a typo on anybody's end there, but I wanted to put that on the record as well. The information had it as David. I believe his first name is your first name actually Dion?
I believe that's why we're still standing
Okay. And your first name's Dion?
as far as this behalf.
All right, thank you, sir. It's Dion, D-E-O-N.
That's your first name, correct?
My first name here, I believe it's spelled Dion.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you.
So now, as far as the jail, do we have any conflicts?
You're going to meet with the probation office, and they're going to get you sorted out, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Here, this is your copy.
So whenever we
Thank you,
I'll
Judge.
just go to the
All right. Eric Minshu. Good afternoon. Are you Eric Minshu?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're here for arraignment. You're charged with 23 CF 1733, possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, third-degree felony. Does the state have some type of offer for him?
Yes, Your Honor. If he wants to enter a plea today, it will be a withhold of adjudication to the lesser included offense of paraphernalia, which is a misdemeanor.
Yes, ma'am.
And court cost and cost of prosecution.
Yes, ma'am.
Wanna
I-
do
I'm
that?
clear. I'm guilty. I did it. That was my birthday, and I went a little overboard, and I'm
Don't
sorry.
celebrate so much.
Okay, hang on a
But,
second.
I gotta get back to work, y'all. I work offshore, and I got a daughter in University of Texas who ain't got me right now, and...
All right. Would you please, you're Eric Shane Minshu, correct?
Yes, sir.
Would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give before this court's the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
You want to enter a no contest plea to it's a lesser included offense, a misdemeanor,
Yes.
possession of paraphernalia.
Yes, sir.
You understand your rights you're waiving by entering this plea?
Yes,
You put
sir.
your hand down.
Yes,
You have right to a trial, right to an attorney, right to remain silent.
Yes, sir. I trust y'all.
Okay. The court, are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing
No,
what you're
sir.
doing here today?
No, sir.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this plea?
No, sir. No, sir. I don't know a soul in Crestview, Florida.
Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it, withholds adjudication of guilt. It's to a misdemeanor. Was it no jail time, no probation?
Just court costs and cost of prosecution, Judge.
Just standard court costs and cost of prosecution, and I'll give you 90 days to pay it. It's approximately a few $100s. I don't remember
It'll be a
exactly.
$50 cost of prosecution since it's a misdemeanor, and then whatever the misdemeanor costs are.
I think it's
I had my
200.
dad mail the money today.
270.
270, okay. It's
I had my dad mail the money today.
approximately $300. So I'll give you 90 days to pay that, okay? Otherwise, it'll go to
Okay, what I pay it
collections.
to, this court here?
The clerk of court.
First floor.
Ma'am,
First floor.
perfect, okay, yes, ma'am.
First floor, and your case is 23 CF 1733. They'll look it up for you,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Yes, sir, thank you very much.
So are you getting out today unless you're being held on some other
No,
charges?
sir, no more charge. You know, I turned my life around, I'm a Christian now, but my birthday come up, man, I don't know why I done that, you know, but,
When's your birthday?
you know, stuff happens, I guess.
When is your birthday?
August 1st, when I got arrested.
Okay, well, happy birthday.
Yes, sir, thank y'all. Thank y'all for the present.
Glad you could spend your birthday with us, dressed in orange. Okay. Max Moss. All right, this is 23 CF 1777. Max Ryan Moss. You're Mr. Moss?
Correct, sir. Yes, sir.
You're charged with possession of a controlled substance without a prescription and possession of narcotics equipment, a third-degree felony, and a first-degree misdemeanor. Is there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor, if Mr. Moss wishes to resolve today, the offer would be to dismiss count 1 and plea as charged to count 2, which is the misdemeanor, for an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, court costs, and costs of prosecution.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
All right, she's offering if you want to plead to a misdemeanor, they'll drop the charges, the felony, and you will not get any jail time except that, not additional, I'll sentence you to time served. You won't have any extra jail time to do for me.
Okay, that will be wonderful, sir.
No probation, standard court costs, okay?
That'll be good.
Co-
I've been
All
doing
right.
rather well here.
Okay, so you want to enter a no contest plea to the charge of possession of narcotics equipment, a first-degree misdemeanor. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And the state's going to drop the felony charges against you. You understand? You have the right to a jury trial, right to an attorney to represent you if you can't afford one, but you're waiving those rights. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
There's other rights, too, such as the right to make the state prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt, but you're waiving that. So you want to enter a no contest plea to a misdemeanor possession of narcotics equipment, correct?
Yes, sir.
Anyone force you or threaten you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this plea? What
Yes,
I
sir.
just told you?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevents you from knowing what you're doing here today?
No, sir.
Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. Judge you guilty. Sentence you to time served. Cost of prosecution and standard court costs for a misdemeanor. And I'll give you 90 days to pay it. If it doesn't, you go to...
I'm going to go to if I get out in enough time, I'm going to the courthouse to pay some things either tonight or tomorrow. I have some money on my card that I'll be released with, and I'll take care of that.
Well, I'll
today
give
or
you 90
tomorrow.
days to get around to doing it.
Thank you.
Otherwise, it goes to collections.
Yeah, I need to get that taken care of. I will,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, this is 23 CF 1799, State versus Terrence Andre Parker. You're Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You are here on an arraignment charge, driving license suspended, habitual, second or subsequent conviction, resisting an officer without violence, and resisting an officer failing to obey a police or fire department officer.
Your Honor, I already represent him on another case. I did ask him, because it was written on first appearance, that he has a private attorney. He indicated he does not have a private attorney. He doesn't know how that got on there. I believe he is going to request the public defender be appointed.
I'll appoint the public defender to represent you on this. Maybe they can get it all taken care of for you.
That's what I thought. I thought it was all in one already.
Yeah,
We're going to enter a not guilty plea, Your Honor, and request trial by jury.
October 30th. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Nigel Rogan.
Mr. Rogan is present, Your Honor, before the court, and
Thank
he is
you.
going to enter a not guilty plea at this time, request trial by jury.
October 30th. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Richard Lee South.
Didn't we arraign him the other day? Your Honor, he was arraigned back the other day on, what was it, Tuesday? He was arraigned on Tuesday for these charges.
Thought so.
We entered a not guilty plea, request trial by jury.
All right, October 30th, Mr. South. Public defender's appointed. Thank you. Rashad Venable.
I did. I went to see her. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I went out there.
All right, this is 23 CF 1737, State of Florida versus Rashad Malik Venable. Mr. Venable, you're charged with driving license suspended, a second or subsequent of conviction, a third-degree felony. Is there an offer for him?
Yes, Your Honor. If Mr. Venable wishes to plead today, the state will offer a misdemeanor driving while license suspended with an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, court cost prosecution.
All right, what the state is saying is they're going to, if you want to enter a no contest plea, they're going to let you, from a felony, plead down to a misdemeanor. And I'm going to sentence you to a judge guilty, which you'll have a misdemeanor conviction for this, and sentence you to time served, meaning no more jail time as far as this case is concerned, okay?
Yes, sir.
Cost of prosecution, which is, I think, $50.
Yes, sir.
And misdemeanor court cost $270. And I'll give you 90 days to pay it. So you want to take that?
Yes, sir.
Would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? Are you Rashad Venable?
Yes, sir.
You swear the testimony you give before this court's the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're charged with driving license suspended, habitual second or subsequent conviction, a third-degree felony, but you will be entering a plea to driving with license suspended, a lesser offense, which is a misdemeanor. So you're pleading no contest to a misdemeanor. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to an attorney, right to remain silent, right to make the state prove its case beyond to the exclusion of reasonable doubt, and other rights. You understand, and are you waiving your rights upon entering this plea?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevents you from knowing what you're doing here today?
No, sir.
Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. And this is a plea to a misdemeanor. Court judges you guilty, sentences you to time served, no probation, cost of prosecution $50, and court costs for a misdemeanor $270. I'll give you 90 days to pay it. Otherwise, it goes to collections.
Yes,
Okay?
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Weeks.
Your Honor, he's deceased.
All right, I guess they'll drop the charges then on him.
So usually what we'll do is we'll get a death certificate to confirm. This is the first I'm hearing.
All right.
Your Honor, he when I was doing first appearance about a month ago, Zach Rogers was the state attorney on duty. We began late on that Saturday morning because there was a death at the jail, and it was Michael Weeks.
I think the charges have to be dropped.
Yeah, Michael Bradley Weeks was the person that they indicated, Judge Oberleson indicated was deceased, and...
He doesn't, it's like he doesn't have everything just drops, so it's like it never happened as
Yes.
far as
And-
I believe. So.
And his brother was here just a few minutes ago, Jason Howell, and I did show him the paperwork, and he did confirm he's deceased,
right.
but we don't have...
Well, just get that death certificate, and I think that's what they, I think the charges have to be dropped, and that's just, I don't know how that affects a civil, any type of civil action, if there is or not, but,
I've never had to answer that question, Judge, so I don't know. I will say it's easier for the state to get the actual death certificate than it is for us.
all right.
Since he died at the jail, and I'm sure there was investigation, it's not
All
going to
right.
be easy for
I'll have
us.
my office look at it.
Okay, well, just, you know,
But Mr.
file a
Rogers.
null pros or whatever you're going to do on that, so. Okay, what else? Do we got another docket?
Is that Miss Wilson?
It is?
Yeah, I think that's Bailey Wilson.
Bring back Antoine, Mr. Parsons?
Yes, we have Parsons, Pate, and Ash here as well.
Okay.
That's a Miss Wilson.
Wilson was one that she didn't show up this morning.
Bailey Ann Wilson? Come on up, Miss Wilson.
If you want to type that.
All right, this is 22 CF 954, State versus Bailey Ann Wilson. She does not have a, it says
No attorney.
petty theft. First
She was on
offense.
this morning, seems listed as an FTA,
Oh, failure to appear.
on this morning's docket, but she made it, so obviously she's going to ask the court to
She
withdraw
charged
her
with
case.
felony theft charge.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
She's charged with felony petty theft.
This is a
Violation
VOP
of
for Ms.
VOP,
Bailey Wilson.
VOP, okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Her underlying, she was originally on probation for petty theft, and it looks like she was violated for failure to report to probation, and then she pled to that. So this is her second VOP. She picked up a possession of paraphernalia and also technical violation, failure to report, and changing residence without permission. So let's see what the recommendation is. If she wants to enter a plea to adjudication, credit time served, court costs, revoke and terminate, state will offer that.
Yes,
All right,
please.
If you want to admit that you violated probation, I'm going to sentence you to time served, revoke and terminate your probation, standard court costs. I'll give you 90 days to pay it.
Yes, sir.
Would you raise your right hand to be sworn? You are Bailey Ann Wilson, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear the testimony you give for this court's the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You are here on a violation of probation. You want to admit that you violated probation?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this admission?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this admission?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevents you from knowing what you're doing here today?
No, sir.
Court finds the admission freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. Was it a court adjudicates you guilty, sentence you to credit for time served, revoke and terminate probation. What was the court cost on this, on a VOP?
It'll be the VOP standard fee.
$150.
If it's misdemeanor, would it
$100.
be 50? 50 and 50?
Is it 50?
Yeah, it'd be 50.
$50 cost of prosecution and $50 court fee.
Just 50.
All right, $50 cost to prosecute. You got 90 days to pay it.
Okay,
Otherwise, it
thank
goes
you.
to collections, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the court is withdrawing the capias, Your Honor?
Yes. If there's a capias, I'll withdraw it.
Oh, okay. All right, just making sure. Don't want her to get arrested.
Parsons.
And Your Honor, this was from this morning. If I could have a minute for him to sign the document?
All right.
All right. If I may approach, Your Honor?
All right.
Your Honor, we weren't appointed on the second case, and there's no need for us to be appointed on the second case. It would save them $100.
All right, this is State of Florida versus Antoine James Parsons. You're Mr. Parsons. Would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for is course of truth, so help you God? Yes. Okay, this is case number 23 CF 1629 and 23 CF 1952. You want to enter a no contest plea in 1629 to a third-degree felony possession of a controlled substance and a first-degree misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia and resisting without violence a first-degree misdemeanor, and in case number 1952, possession of a controlled substance, a third-degree felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, first-degree misdemeanor, and resisting without violence a first-degree misdemeanor. So you understand those charges and what you're pleading no contest to?
Yes, sir.
Did you read and sign this plea and sentencing agreement form?
Wait, one more time?
Did you read and sign this plea and
Yes.
sentencing
Yes,
agreement
sir.
form? Do you understand the rights you're waiving by entering this plea?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today? Are you happy with the work Ms. Rivers has done for you on your case?
Yes.
Court finds the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. In 23 CF 1629, you're judged guilty, all counts. Since the 12 months probation, $515 court costs, $100 cost of prosecution, $150 PD fee. Have a substance abuse evaluation, completing recommended treatment. You're not to possess or consume alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription while on probation. Court will waive cost of supervision. 15 hours community service work, which you can buy out if you want to.
Okay.
In 23 CF 1952, you're judged guilty, sentenced to 12 months probation concurrent. Do not return to McDonald's. Is that in Crestview or every McDonald's?
Sound like,
Don't go to Crestview McDonald's. I guess you can go to some other McDonald's, but have a substance abuse evaluation, completing recommended treatment. You're not to possess or consume alcohol or drugs without a written prescription. Waive cost of supervision. $515 court costs, $100 cost of prosecution, $100 PD fee, and you can do 15 hours community service work concurrent. So you got a total of 15 hours, not 30.
And Your Honor, if we could, since I didn't seek appointment on the second case, delete that second count of
All right.
$100 of public defender fees.
Okay, I'll delete the $100 public defender fee on count on 1952. So you got 12 months concurrent probation and these other things, okay? Probation will give you something, explain it to you in detail if you don't understand it.
I got you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Parsons?
Ms. Ash?
Your Honor, Tim Gibbs on behalf of Harriet Ash. This is 21 CF 2408. Judge, we have reached an agreement, if I can approach, what we signed yesterday.
All right, you're Harriet Ash.
Yes, sir, Your
Would you
Honor.
please raise your right hand to be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for is courts of truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. This is 21 CF 2408, State of Florida versus Harriet Ash. You want to admit that you violated probation, correct, Ms. Ash?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you read and sign this plea and sentencing agreement form?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand the rights you're waiving by entering this admission to violation of probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter this admission?
No, sir, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today?
No, sir, Your Honor.
Are you happy with the work Mr. Gibbs has done for you on your case?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Court finds the admissions freely and voluntarily entered. Court will adjudicate you guilty, revoke and terminate probation. 18 months Department of Corrections, credit for time served, $100 cost of prosecution, $150 PD fee, all monies to collections. This is a legitimate, uncoerced plea bargain. And how much, and credit for time served, how much time have you served?
The last estimate I had, Judge, was that she had about 17 months, 11 days. So she's not quite at the full 18 months. Generally, the jail has to wait for judgment and sentence to be done by the clerk before DOC will make a decision on pickup or release. If the jail ends up telling us that she has quite a bit more credit than that, I can certainly send an order to Your Honor for her release if she's served all of her time.
Check that out. It looks like you're
She may
going
have
to be
more than that.
released any day.
She
Okay.
may have more than that. We should have an answer from the jail this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
I hope you get out and don't get in trouble, okay? Yeah, count 2 will be time served.
So if that's what the jail has, they'll let me know and we'll get you out as soon as we can.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Ryan David Pate.
Yes, sir.
Okay. He is here on is a violation of probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there an offer for Mr. Pate?
Yes, Your Honor, if you want me to admit to the violation of probation with an adjudication of guilt and 30 days jail, court cost of prosecution.
Can I get a 21-day time serve instead of the 30?
No, sir.
And add a month to it? Because if I don't get out today, I lose my house and my kids. And I don't.
Wait, 30 days jail with credit for time served?
He would be given credit time
And he
served.
served how many days?
I've been in 20. Will it start from Walton County? Because that's where I got arrested from.
I don't know.
Well, I was on probation here. I transferred to Walton County. They violated me. I got arrested from Walton County, and I was there.
I can't figure all that out because I don't have the records. All I can do is give you 30 days credit for time served.
Can I ask her, would I get the credit for the 4 days I was in Walton County?
I don't have confirmation of those.
I got expedited from there to here.
I'm sorry?
I got expedited from there to here.
Give me 1 second.
Please, thank you.
You got expedited.
Yes.
What do you mean you'll lose your house?
I pay for my apartment, and if I don't get out by this weekend, I lose it, and I have custody of my kids.
I'll give you 30, I'll give you whatever they agree, 30 days for credit for time served. She's going to see what it is.
Okay.
It was. So I don't see where his.
You're also looking at
yeah.
I do have Miss Ash's score sheet.
All right, do you have any charges pending on you
No,
from
sir.
Walton County?
Nowhere. No, sir.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
So you got, how much time did you spend in Walton County?
4 days, and then I've done
4?
17 here, so it's 21 altogether.
Oh. Well, if you got 21 days and I give you 30,
You have 4 more days.
It's not going to get him out of it.
Yeah, I need to be out over the weekend.
In this jail, you do 20.
I mean, I'll do an extra 30 days on whatever. I'll pay extra, whatever, however it costs.
Let's see where the warrant
I give him 25 days. How about that?
Will that get me out?
Okay.
I'll do
Your
extra.
Honor, I'll stipulate to the 4 days. If he's had 21 days so far, I'll stipulate to giving him an extra 4.
You want to just sentence him to time served?
If Your Honor can do
Okay.
that, yeah.
I'm going to just sentence you to time served if you
So I'll get out
want.
today.
As far as this case is concerned,
I have no
don't-
other case.
Okay, well, I'm sentencing you to time served.
Thank you.
And then it'll be he's on probation, Your Honor, until, I believe, March, so it would be a reinstatement of the probation.
How about that?
I'm cool with it.
Okay, would you, would you raise your, this is Brian David Pate,
Yes, sir.
21 CF 108. Would you please raise your right hand and be sworn? You swear the testimony you give for this court is true, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
You want to admit that you violated probation?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of the rights you're waiving by entering this submission?
Understood.
Anyone force you or threaten you to enter this submission?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medication or drugs that prevent you from knowing what you're doing here today?
No, sir.
Court finds submission freely and voluntarily entered. Court accepts it. Judge you guilty, sentence you to time served, and reinstate probation under the original terms.
Thank you.
I guess you'll finish it up in March or whatever, but I'll reinstate your probation, sentence to time served, so you should get out today, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right. All right, anything else?
All I have, Judge.
Okay, now, what public defenders do I have a trial with?
Myself, Your Honor. Ms. Flowers, I believe, has one.
Okay, you are